One accessory that's become really popular in fishing, especially with bass pros, but I think it's gaining a lot of popularity with walleye guys too, is a hotfoot. And what a hotfoot is simply a throttle mechanism that allows you to use your foot much like you would in a car, in an automobile. It has some few benefits. Number one, right here, 2 hands. As far as boat control is concerned, when you're out in big waves, you're in big seas navigating from place to place, just like in a car, having 2 hands on the wheel at 10 and 2 is recommended. It gives you full control of the boat. So if I'm in big seas, I hit a wave at an awkward angle, I'm not having a single hand on there and running the risk of losing control of that craft. That's a big deal when you're moving at high speeds. The other benefit in my case is with the family, I come out here with my kids quite a bit in my bass boat. This is a Lund 2075 Pro V Bass. Have a couple flip up seats, so it does double duty for me as a fishing and a recreation boat with the family. I put my daughter and my son on my lap. Now, I have to have a hand on a kid and 1 hand on the steering wheel. What I don't want to happen is for that child to step on the throttle when I'm going down the lake, especially with the engine like the Mercury Verrados or the new Mercury 4-strokes, Pro XS. These things are tremendously powerful and they're fly-by-wire, so the throttle response is instantaneous. Somebody could fly out of the boat. By putting the throttle in the hotfoot mechanism, and there's a simple button with these electronic engines. It's over here on the throttle mechanism. It says hand throttle. I push that. That means I can control my throttle by, conventional hand throttle. I take that button off. Now I can control it with my hotfoot. What that allows me to do is hold the kid, put a hand here, and not worried about them bumping that throttle or falling on it. So that's kind of secondary from a fishing or boating application, but for me it does matter. But trolling, for example, I musky fish, sometimes I'll even flatline walleye troll out of this boat. I like the ability to be kind of looking back like this, just reach down and control my speed with my hand, dial in my SmartCraft RPMs, rather than being tied to having my foot on the hotfoot. For a professional fisherman or an enthusiast angler too with the fish finder these days, oftentimes you have a hand dedicated to your menu functions. You're navigating and doing any number of things on these touchscreen units. So that's a case where I want a foot dedicated to my speed because I have 1 hand on the wheel and 1 hand on the unit. If I was going through my throttle now, I got a hand on the steering wheel, I have a hand on the throttle, but I don't have a free hand for my electronics. So when I'm scanning out, looking for fish, running my electronics, the hotfoot has more utility for me. The bottom line is with these new engines, it's a sophisticated fly-by-wire system. The shifting mechanism is extremely quiet and smooth, and you have both options. Hotfoot for the reasons I mentioned, or hand throttle for those other scenarios, trolling and maybe safety where you don't want somebody to fall on that throttle.